Noon, everyone. We're just going to give a couple minutes so that others can join us. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stacy Chadwick. I'm an advisor in the International Students and Scholars Office, and today I am joined by Assistant Director in Career Services, Surwa Ade Adu. Surwa, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Greetings from the Career and Co-op Center.
Great. So first off, we're going to start with the ISSO portion of this presentation. We're going to be going over curricular practical training, so any type of off-campus work during your academic program, but specifically CPT. So curricular practical training is off-campus work experience in your field of study for those F1 students. This must contain a curricular component that's required for your graduation. So the concept of curricular practical training is to bring the learning of the job experience back into the classroom. So you have the outside experience and the classroom, and then the credit in the middle will tie the two together. It must be evaluated and graded by a faculty CPT advisor with course registration, like I said. So typically you would register for 1, 3, maybe 6 credits, depending on the value of that practical training. Full-time CPT can be permitted over the summer, which is 40 hours a week, and part-time CPT is permitted over the academic semesters, which is up to 20 hours a week. In order to be eligible for CPT, you must have completed 1 traditional year, fall and spring, or spring and fall, in full-time status. You must be in matriculated status, so have passed through any pathway programs where applicable, earned a minimum of 18 credits that count towards your respective bachelor's or master's degree. This also includes PhDs. So it would be a minimum of 18 credits that count towards your respective degree, have a minimum GPA of 2.0 for undergraduate students and 3.0 for graduate students, and be in good judicial standing. So you cannot have any warnings, probation, or negative academic status. You also cannot have received any U's, F's, or incompletes on your transcript. Students who are taking a thesis option cannot be in the last phase of the thesis or dissertation, and you cannot be in your last semester if you're a non-thesis student. So CPT the policies do differ at various schools and even between departments within the same school. So each UMass Lowell academic department reserves the legal right to deny a request for CPT at its sole discretion. The allotted time for CPT, you can work up to 12 months. Well, given certain situations, you may have the opportunity to work up to 12 months on full-time CPT, but should you exceed 12 months of full-time CPT, you would forfeit the ability to apply for optional practical training post-graduation. CPT is typically authorized on a semester-by-semester basis. Most of the time, provided that it's done on a semester-by-semester basis, you would be participating in part-time CPT. This doesn't count towards the ability to apply for OPT, only full-time CPT does. So you just want to be careful that if your program requires full-time CPT, that you don't exceed those 12 months, because we want to make sure that everyone has the ability to apply for OPT. We do monitor that very closely, and we try to make sure that no one exceeds the 12 months of full-time CPT. Again, part-time does not count towards that. So required full-time or part-time CPT. Some students may engage in full-time 6-month co-ops. This is through the Career and Co-op Center. Students outside of that would not have the ability to go off on a full-time 6-month co-op. But some departments require off-campus work for completion of the degree. Most of the time it's part-time. There can be exceptions to CPT eligibility requirements. This is evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So if you have a department that requires an off-campus practicum or clinical, something like that, there could be exceptions to the policy. So after you've met the eligibility requirements, the next step is to obtain an offer letter. With that offer letter, you would then go to your academic department and make sure that you can find a CPT advisor. With the help of your CPT advisor, you would complete the curricular practical training application e-form with an advisor. So everything is done electronically. It can all be done through our e-form on our website under the forms and guides page. You would have to register for a minimum of 1 credit, which your advisor can help you do. So the advisor will contact the registrar's office to create that 1 credit or more course, and they'll provide you with the permission number. You cannot register for a CPT credit on your own. You would need the help of your advisor in the registrar's office. So they would help you register for that 1 credit work experience for the semester you plan to go off and work. And then you need to have partial registration for the upcoming following semester at the time you apply for CPT. You would submit your e-form to the ISSO, and we must receive this application within the add drop period. Because it requires registration, you need to register and apply by the end of the add drop deadline. Here's our CPT website. I just want to point you all to. So this is the ISSO forms and guides page. You can see at the top, we're clicked on the employment tab, which is what the page automatically opens to. And if you scroll down F1 CPT, there's the guide and how to apply with links to the e-form and descriptions. So there are 2 separate CPT applications on our website. The first one is for full-time co-op program students. This is for students accepted into a full-time professional co-op program or graduate master's co-op option in engineering. The other one is for all other CPT requests for students engaging in practical training integral to their degree program, like required practicums or service learning, etc. So just make sure that you choose the option that is best for you. I'm not going to take any questions at this time. Typically we would, but I want to point everyone to the employment section of our website. You can also contact our office Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 2 to 4 during the advising hours. Advising hours now, we've just recently changed. You can sign into them on our homepage between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. And just be sure to leave your phone number in the other section so that someone from our office can call you back during that window of time. I am going to answer everyone's questions at the end of the presentation, the entire presentation today. So please feel free to type out your questions and we will get to them. And I'll be happy to answer anything at the end. But for now, we are going to pass it over to Sarwa.
Thank you, Stacy. So I'm going to share my screen in a little bit. Okay. Again, greetings from the Career and Co-op Center. Today we'll be talking about your job search as an international student. I know that Stacy has covered all the rules and regulations that it comes with CPT or OPT. So now that you have that information, it's helpful for you to actually get more resources on how you should start your job search if you already haven't done so. So the overview of the learning objectives, I'm just going to go over some resources that we offer at the Career and Co-op Center, and then provide some tips and resources for your job search. Okay. And I'll do that by going through the different services that we provide, looking at the job search from an international student's perspective, therefore by going over the recruitment process, giving you some available tools that we have on our website, and then answering any questions you may have at the end. Also, as I'm going along, you can type in your questions in the Q&A box, and I'll be more than happy to answer, like Stacy said at the end. So the role of the Career and Co-op Center is to just provide you with resources and help you transition from being a student to a professional. That's all that we do. And we do that through ways of you reaching out to us or us coming to you. And when I say us coming to you, we do a lot of classroom presentations. So some of you may have noticed our presence in your classrooms or have us attend any of your sessions or even clubs and organizations. But that said, you can also have one-on-one opportunities for us. And since most of the things we are doing nowadays are done virtually, we do those through Zoom or phone. You can have a phone appointment. Sometimes I would have a student whose connection is not working properly. That's okay. If there's a number we can reach you at, we'll call you and then we can have the appointment over the phone. We also have online resources. That's our 24/7 resources that students can use. In terms of appointments, all our appointments are for 30 minutes, our career advice and appointments, and you can find the link to schedule at your own convenience on our website. We do drop-ins as well, and the schedule is on our website, but we cover drop-ins every day. We block at least 2 hours so that students can just stop by, and that's done virtually as well through Zoom. So you can stop by for a drop-in, and drop-ins run the gamut. It could be that you have a draft of your resume that you'd like us to give you some feedback on, or how to write a cover letter, or you have a quick question about your job search. Anything career related, you can stop at a drop-in for. So 2 hours at least every day. And there are some days that we have it for 4 hours. On Thursdays and Fridays, we have morning and afternoon drop-ins, 2 hours at a time. In addition to drop-ins and scheduling one-on-one appointments during these sessions, it's not just about resumes and cover letters or internships and job search. We also do interviewing, practice interviews. So we can do a practice interview with you. And most of the time we encourage students that don't wait till you have an interview coming up. So for us, you started the job process, you can start practicing because these things do take a while. Also, depending on the major that you are in, if you want to explore further the different career pathways, we also meet students to talk about their career exploration. And everything is done virtually. What else do we do? Handshake. And I'll talk a little bit about Handshake in a minute, but that's our database where we are the middle people. We connect employers and students. So we offer Handshake that has so many different things you can go in there to use Handshake for. But see it as career services, and the co-op center is the bridge between students and employers. And we do that by using the system Handshake. We do career corners, and these are primer workshops that we have every Friday at noon. And the topics rotate from resumes, job search, LinkedIn, and interviewing. Then the cycle starts again: resumes, job search, and interviewing. The whole the schedule is on Handshake of career corners. Since today is there are no classes today, we don't typically do anything when students don't have classes. So we didn't do it today, but we'll resume doing it next Friday. We have virtual career fairs as well, where you get to interact with employers. It's a networking opportunity for you as well, especially as international students. I'm always very mindful of the connections that you have in the US. So opportunities like career fairs where recruiters and hiring managers attend, and they come because they want to talk with you. It's a way for you to connect with people. We have a whole library of videos and career videos and articles that can be found on our website, and a tool we have called candidcareer.com. I'll tell you how you can use it in your job search. So let's look at some of the elements of an effective job search from an international student's perspective. It's always a great idea for you to define your career goals and interests, right? What do you want out of that internship or that experience, that full-time opportunity, if there are any? What do you want out of it? Understand your work eligibility. That's what Stacey just talked about. And I know their office is more than happy anytime to answer students' questions because it's that important. So know what you have to do and what you don't have to do when it comes to work so that there aren't any future repercussions, right? And then your communication and interpersonal skills, especially for my international students that English is not your first language, do practice, seek opportunities where you're improving your communication and interpersonal skills. Then develop your materials. I typically do a workshop that I call Americanizing Your Resume, and that is switching your resume so that is aligned to what the US style of format is. You know how what they say, when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do. Targeting international friendly employers is also a strategy you can use. And that's something you should think about. So let's say maybe you're an international student from India, take a company like Hindustan Lever. We do have Unilever in the US as well. Would it make sense if you already have connections from the home organization, Hindustan Lever? Is there a way maybe through LinkedIn or through your own networks back at home, somebody may be able to connect you so that you can get to learn more about Unilever in the US? So these are some of the ways you can market and promote yourself. Then have a plan B. Always have a plan B. If this doesn't work out, what are the other options? And then employ multiple strategies. And that's what we're going to talk about. Before we talk about that, why are you a unique candidate as an international student? So why employers think you qualify? It's because you have courage to tackle the unknown. Most of you have left home many miles away and come to the US to study. Not everybody would be willing or even be bold enough to leave their friends and family to come to a country where maybe you don't even know anyone. So that is a transferable skill that any employer would appreciate because you've demonstrated courage and tackling the unknown right there, right? They also say from a lot of feedback that international students or candidates usually excel in diverse workplaces because, again, you've left your comfort zone to appreciate a different culture. So you're more apt to being culturally sensitive. And you're also considered as the brightest and most highly motivated from your home countries because the people you left back home, eh, um, some of them don't want to leave to try something different. And some students also come with scholarships, and that is even a checkbox itself because you're already demonstrating that you're bright. And because these are merits based, right? You have the technical expertise, employers think you qualify, you help to diversify their pool, and then your proven ability to speak English and understand the American culture. And all this makes you unique and qualify for a lot of positions. So let's look at 10 strategies that I'm calling 10 strategies for success when it comes to conducting an effective job search from an international student's perspective. Most of the time, we think when you think about a job search strategy, a lot of people will start mentioning job boards. That's just a little portion of it. So I've blended some ideas and resources that you can use for your search. So using Handshake, which I mentioned earlier, using job boards, and another resource or idea is using contract or temporary work, networking, targeting companies, volunteering, and using your faculty as resources. So we're going to look at these individually. And in addition, I have 3 other resources I'd like to share with you. So job boards like Indeed.com or Simply Hired, even LinkedIn LinkedIn has a job posting feature where employers can post their jobs. So they are aggregators, right? That you can that they pull job postings from websites or online or newspaper job boards, blogs, company employment pages. You can set up alerts and you can set as many alerts as you want. And whenever a job that you set an alert for, so let's say maybe you are plastics engineering and you put certain filters in and create an alert, whenever a position that's plastics engineering or related to what you're interested in gets posted, immediately you'd get an email or text, whatever notification you opt for. And once you do get that, it's helpful for you to apply as soon as possible. So we are always saying to students that you should have a resume ready to go, because you may never know when an opportunity will come up. That's why you can use drop-in services so that we can give you feedback on your drafts, or you can attend career corners to get you started on your resume. Or if you already have a resume you feel confident about, but you just need a few tweaks, or you need us to help you strengthen it, you can definitely schedule a career advice and appointment, which is for 30 minutes, and we'll focus on those things. Another thing you should bear in mind is most of the time, there's no need for you to post your resume on any of these sites. So don't feel the pressure to go and create an account and upload your resume. And as you're uploading your resume on certain sites, especially LinkedIn, I see a lot of students do that. Be mindful of your personal information. Block those things out. Your phone number, your home address especially, and even your email. Just like the way you wouldn't put those information on Facebook, you shouldn't be doing that with LinkedIn, okay? So Handshake, what is it? It's a site that has hundreds of internships, co-ops, and jobs for all majors. And you can set filters, and one of the elements to filter out is work authorization status. So you would know that these companies are willing and open to hiring internationals. It's very important. There are some companies that unfortunately they cannot, they are not able to hire internationals, so you don't invest a lot of energy on those applications. So on Handshake, you can actually filter out work authorization. It's also a place where you can personalize your internship, and every time, and then job recommendations would come up. I have a fake student Handshake account, and I've put certain filters in. So whenever a position for data analyst, because it's one that most of the time students are asking where the jobs are. So whenever there's a new posting, I get or I do get job recommendations, okay, because I've customized my feed. It's also a place where you can connect with employers, especially during the pandemic. Most employers are doing info sessions, just telling students about their organization, what they look out for in prospective candidates. So when you see these events come up, and most of the time it's only for an hour, you can attend, just like you are attending this right now. It doesn't take a lot. Just make time for it, because they are sharing with you what's important about the organization, learning about the culture, and that will make you a competitive candidate, because you're going to use the information you're gathering to build a strong application. You can also sign up for on-campus interviews. There's a means you can do that within Handshake. So hopefully when things go back to normal and we're able to gather again in person, and employers are coming back on campus, Handshake would be the place where you can sign up for an on-campus interview. That's also the site where we post all our upcoming career fairs and events that we are doing, all our career corners, any event that we do, you can find in Handshake. Job Hawk is our own in-house, when I say in-house, UMaslow's job board, where you would find jobs posted by staff and faculty, and that's different from Handshake. So Handshake is external, so people that you won't find any on-campus job posted on Handshake. So if you're interested in looking for an internship, especially on-campus job, the place to go is Job Board. Sorry, it's Job Hawk. Okay, and it can be located. When you go to uml.ed, you click on directory to locate Job Hawk, and it takes you to the website. So the types of jobs in there are work study positions, and these are federal jobs. So those are just for domestic students. However, there are departmental jobs that is not assigned to a work study. Therefore, international students can apply for those as well. So just be mindful of that. When you're looking for on-campus jobs, Job hawk is where you have to go. Think of it as in river hawk. So that's a mascot, excuse me. So job hawk. Another strategy is using contracts or temp assignments. If you find any, that's also a way to get your foot in the door and also try out a job opportunity. So there are temporary agencies that exist for all types of workers. Like I said, it's a great way to try. You can just Google placement agencies, let's say engineering, and then some will come up. Go and read about the job postings, see that there are no limitations. And that's with regards to you being international. And if you think this is a position you're interested in, you can definitely try it out and apply. Minimize the number of agencies you sign up with. So keep it to about 2 to 3, and always do your due diligence and read the fine prints so that you're not committing yourself into something that legally you may not necessarily be able to come out of. These agencies will typically give you some suggestions on your resumes because that's what they do. They are middlemen between, let's say, the organization itself and prospective candidates. And these are temporary assignments. Therefore, they see resumes all the time. So they may give you some suggestions on how you can improve your resume. And it's always okay to follow up with a recruiter. I have a question here for you. You can use the chat feature, the Q&A feature to do that. What is the most successful job search strategy? What do you think is the most successful job search strategy? You can put that in the chat. Sorry, the question and answer. Networking. All right, so let's see. Yes, networking. So we're going to talk about networking. It's the most successful job search strategy. So brainstorm your connections you already have, right? And these can be your course mates, so the people you're in the same courses or classes with, or organizations, even your roommates. Think of back home as well. Between you and the president of the United States is about 6 people. It has no limitations to geographic region. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So within your network, you may have a lead that may get you in contact with, let's say, a targeted campaign, for instance. It's important you let people know that you are looking. So using a tool like LinkedIn is one of the easiest way for you to start making connections. So on there, let people know who you are, what you do, what you're looking for, and what you're hoping for, right? When things go back to normal, if there's an opportunity for you to shadow somebody in the workplace, I believe you'd be able to do that, but you want to check with ISSO first. Joining clubs, groups, and professional associations is one way that you can network as well. And this creates opportunities for you to get networks that you can do informational interviews with. So informational interviews are just like, let's say, interviewing for a job, but in this instance, you are the one asking the questions. Where in a typical interview, you are the one that has to answer these questions. So it's important you have an idea, a career goal in mind, and then line up a few people that you can network with. And these are people that are already doing the work that you can ask questions related to their line of work. The benefits of networking: you can exchange ideas and information. We don't network going in thinking that we're going to get a job, but we are rather doing it from the point where we are opening ourselves and getting an opportunity to get new ideas and information, which can, at the end of the day, make us a competitive candidate, right? So you always have to put the disclaimer out there and say, I'm not going to give you any pressure for you to find me work. I realize that you work at company ABCD. I'm in the process of career exploring, and I noticed that you work there. I would like to learn more about you and what you do. People like to talk about themselves. So here's a situation where it's probably an alumni. So the mutual connection is the fact that you're all affiliated to UMass. So most often than not, they would agree to speak with you. So you put it out there and say, do you mind spending about 15 to 20 minutes of your time so I can do an informational interview with you? When you go into that informational interview, you are expanding on your knowledge, right? They're telling you, they're giving you insight, and you're also asking them questions about what, let's say, you are assuming the nature of work is like, but they're really telling you what it looks like on the ground. You're increasing your communication skills and confidence because remember, you're talking to people that usually are not within your circles. And then it can open doors of opportunities for you. You may never know. They probably know someone that knows someone that's hiring, or someone that knows someone that's from a company that back home you have an office there. You may never know. So the benefits of networking are endless. Another strategy is targeting companies. So research companies by industry and location, identify about 5 to 10, your top ones, and then find out, do you know anyone that works there? Or do you know someone that knows someone that works there? Are there any opportunities for you to do informational interviews or even job shadowing, right? So go onto the careers page of the company's website to locate the job descriptions. Um, Consider sending a letter of inquiry. And my next slide I would share with you what I mean by a letter of inquiry. And always be ready to articulate your goals and interests. Let people know who you are, what you're about, and what you're looking for. So a letter of inquiry is typically used when there's no position posted within that targeted company, but you want to reach out anyway because we are in the hidden job market, right? That means that jobs don't necessarily get posted all the time. So one way is when you send a letter of inquiry, add your resume to it, and this is a sample. So let's say a company just won a bid, therefore opportunities of hiring more people are probably going to come up. So this is a sample of a letter. You address it to a contact person. Last week's issue of the Boston Business Journal, I read with great interest that your organization won the contract for the expansion of the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum. Congratulations. So this is something you saw, let's say maybe on social media. And now you're telling them that I completed my BS in civil engineering in December, and I'm interested in civil engineering or architectural drafting design opportunities with your company, that company, right? Then you tell them that these are what I'm bringing to the table, demonstrating your skills. Add your resume to it, outlining your academic and work experience. And then you say you would like an opportunity so that they can discuss any possible openings that you may be a great match for. Put in your contact information and then thank them. And that's it. People have been getting jobs through there because you've shown interest, you've shown passion, you've done your research. Every employer wants to make sure that they're hiring people that really want to be part of their team. Volunteering is also another opportunity. And I would say check in with ISSO too, because I know that there are some stipulations about certain places where you can volunteer and others you can't. But definitely as an international student, I know that you can volunteer, but just make sure that where you are volunteering at, it's okayed. It gives you an opportunity to gain insight, right? You're gaining relevant experience because you can talk about it on your resume. And when you go for an interview, you're not going to limit your examples to answers you give based on academic projects alone, because you can pull some of these experiences you gained through your volunteerism as you can use them as answers. And you're building your networks, right? You are interacting with people. And it may not necessarily, maybe the volunteer opportunity you get may not necessarily be linked to your major, but who knows? Maybe somebody that you're working at a shelter with or at a soup kitchen with knows someone that's a hiring manager somewhere. I'm just making this up. And you may never know. we always hear of people being at the right place at the right time. So if there's an opportunity for you to volunteer and you have the time to be able to do it, do that, because you can definitely add those experiences to your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your Handshake profile. I forgot to mention on Handshake, you can create a profile, and that is how it will pull or recommend in your feed positions that you may be a good fit. And then also, if you have an online or even a hard copy portfolio, your volunteerism, you can definitely account for and put those through. Finally, faculty. Establish a good reputation and relationship with the faculty. They are always inclined to engaged students. So make sure that you are engaged in their classes, you're participating. One day when you need a recommendation, they would remember you. Therefore, they'll be able to speak more to your work ethic and other transferable skills you gained through the class instead of giving you a very generic, yes, the students took my class, made an A in it, they can speak a little bit more. So make it a goal to stay engaged in your courses and with your faculty. Let them get to know you. Um, Once they get to know you, it's when you need a referral, they can put in a word for you, right? Or even with hiring companies. You can also ask them advice with regards to career planning or job searching. They've graduated a lot of students, so they know where their students are at. So anything that you want clarity on, or maybe places or different organizations that you could probably gain some experience and it's easy for you to get in, ask your faculty, they would know. A lot of faculty also have research work they are doing with industry. Therefore, they are interacting with industry. I mean, they are a wealth of resource for you. So use them. They are not only there for letters of recommendations, right? Um, they can suggest industry relevant job boards for you as well, because we do have some niche job boards. So instead of always going to or always going on indeed.com, there are some job boards specific for engineering jobs, for psychology jobs, and they know where they are. So faculty is interacting with your faculty is really a strong job search strategy you can use. LinkedIn. This is a sample of a LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a professional picture in there. Now, there's I think it's called ready to work or available to work. That logo that you can use within your picture. So with my colleague Priscilla March, who used to work here, this is her LinkedIn profile. You can use that in addition to your picture. And that is a way recruiters also filter out, right? Because most of the time, if they're just they're filtering with anybody that has those skills, that means that people that are job searching and people that are not are going to be in the same pool. So they look out for keywords like seeking, looking for opportunities, available to work. So if you're seeking, definitely use that. It's a round bob. It's a round shaped background that you can use for your profile picture. Yes, that's the word, background. So your picture will be in it, and then around it, it would say available to work or open to work, something along those lines. It's important you have a picture. Have a header, and in the heading, you can say you're seeking as well, but maybe a recent graduate or a junior in psychology looking for new opportunities in ABCD, sell yourself. The about section, it formerly was called summary section. That's where you're going to tell us what this product you're marketing, which is you, what is it about, right? What are you bringing to the table? What are you interested in? What have you done? What types of experience you have? So in a very simple, easy to read format, see it as you're selling yourself, and that's the place to put it. If you don't already have a LinkedIn account, we do career corners on LinkedIn, but it's easy to set up. It's just like creating, let's say, a Facebook account, but this is on a professional level. So you can attend a career corner workshop to do that. Have a picture, as I said earlier. You can customize your LinkedIn invitation when you're connecting with people. So let's say I'm using today as an example. We've met here, so you can send me a message and say, "Hi, Sewa, I was at your workshop at Coffee. I would like us to connect on LinkedIn." That same way, when you attend an event that a hiring manager or a recruiter is there, you can remind them where you met and therefore you'd like to connect with them. It just makes them easier for people to remember who you are. Therefore, they are willing to connect with you. When you join groups, and in there, when somebody posts something, you can like it or make a comment, or you can also post industry relevant information. And as you're doing that, you're getting onto people's radar. Following employers of interest is also helpful. When there's a new feed, you would get it and you can learn more about what they do. You can find and apply for positions posted via LinkedIn, and then it's a tool that you can really use to seek out people to do informational interviews with. Okay, so that's LinkedIn. But when it comes to our own in-house, in air quotes, LinkedIn, we have what we call UML Connect, right? It's a community of alumni, current students, staff, and faculty. And these people have volunteered to help you with your career. So you can create a UML Connect profile by going onto their website. You can use the directory to and plug in UML Connect. It will take you to the page. It's actually out of alumni relations, okay? And then you can create your profile. It would be able to pull information from your LinkedIn to make it easy for you to create your profile. Then start identifying alumni that work at companies that you're interested in. You can customize an invitation to connect with them. Remember that people that are within the UML Connect are people that volunteered to be in there, and they know that this is what the group is about, all right? In there are relevant groups as well. You can join and ask questions. And it's also a platform where you'd have access to people to network with. Therefore, you can ask these people to do informational interviews with. You can also find and apply posted positions because within the community, the employees who are, let's say, the alumni, when their companies post jobs, most of the time we are told to spread it among our networks. So they may post it in there, and it would give you access to see it. And if you're interested, you can apply. So it's really good. Unlike the over 65 million users in LinkedIn, on UML Connect is more of a smaller community, and everybody in there is affiliated to UMass. So that makes it easy for you to interact with people. Finally, I want to talk about a resource we have called candidcareer.com, and it's on our homepage and at multiple places. These are videos, right? Now, we all like to have a quick video instead of reading manuals and tutorials. Reading manuals, pages upon pages, would rather go and watch a video. So this is a platform of career videos, from job search documents like resumes, interviewing, job search strategies, all have been in interview forms. In addition, I talked a lot about doing informational interviews with people. There are over 600 videos of professionals speaking to students because it's from the angle of prospective candidates or even students. So they're speaking to you about their career path. So questions you would have ideally asked in a typical informational interview, they've answered it. So let's say you're interested in pharmaceutical sciences. It would probably bring you about 6 different interviews they've done with on people that have that kind of background. These are 2 to 3 minutes videos. Watch it. As you do that, you are learning and you are gathering information that you can put on your resume or put in your cover letter, or just overall build your confidence or confirm that you are already in the right career path. So candidcareer.com is a great tool that I would encourage all of you in your spare time to use. Okay. So they are not actors, they are real people. So you're getting honest career information. And like I said, over 6,000, sorry, not 600, over 6,000 video clips. So it's just a video library. Okay. I've come to the end of this session, and I would like you to share with me one thing that you learned that you'd be able to apply from today's session. So you can drop that in there in the Q&A. So just think of one tool, one resource, one information you've heard today that is going to help you in your job search. All right. Stacy, I've come to the end of my session right on time so we can start doing our Q&As, right?
Sounds great. We are going to take it over to the questions now. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box. All right, I'm going to start with the first one. An international student in the PhD program in mechanical engineering has some questions about CPT. Can I use CPT in the fall term? Since I'm an international student, I need to register for 9 credits in a term to maintain my visa, but CPT is just 1 credit. So if you meet the eligibility requirements for CPT, if you've studied here for 1 year and you have 18 credits towards your program, you could potentially do CPT in the fall semester. There is a PhD engineering CPT policy that you would need to go by. And then you could register for 1 credit CPT in addition to your 9 credits of full-time registration. So this would be an extra 1 credit. And if you use CPT for a part-time summer internship, can you also continue your research in the lab part-time? So again, if you apply and are eligible for summer CPT, you could also do research in the lab part-time, yes. If you use CPT, you need to be in school for at least, does the summer count as a semester? The summer does not. So what constitutes 1 year is spring and fall, or fall and spring. After you use CPT in the fall term and decide to start working for a company using OPT right after the fall term, is it doable to do that if you're not graduated till the end of the spring semester? So you need work authorization to do any work at all. So you would want to make sure that you're authorized to do so. If it's your last semester, you cannot do CPT. You would then be looking at pre-OPT, which is covered in a different coffee hour, but you can certainly apply for CPT so long as it's not your last semester and you meet the eligibility for it. Okay. And then, okay. I believe this is a question for Serwa. When networking with potential employers in career fairs, how do I make sure that employers remember me and might notice my resume when I submit them?
Okay, that's a great question. By I would say how career fairs are set up, we always give students a list of the employers coming, and you can go and learn about what positions they have available. So very well prepared students always stick out to employers. So go in with questions related to their job position, demonstrate your ability to be able to do the job and your interest, and then ask them what the procedure is. So let's say maybe they're saying in a couple of weeks or very soon their job is going to get posted. Once you apply for the job, you can let them know that you have applied, right? So these are some of the tips. As asking very relevant questions, they would remember, although they see a lot of students. So it's helpful. Once you're done, you got that contact, the next day you can send them a message that it was a great meeting and speaking to you about ABCD. So try to remember the type of conversation you had. So send them a thank you mentioning that, and then say, I look forward to, let's say, when the job gets posted. So in a few weeks, when it does, you get back on their radar, and then you can send them a message again. But you just want to space things out. You don't want to always come off as you're reaching out to them. But little things like that do make a difference, because a lot of students are not doing that. So they will probably remember you. Hope it answers your question.
Thank you. And the next one is also for you. Do we
Okay.
email only the HR of the company on the company's website and on LinkedIn?
I need some clarity on this. Why would you email the HR of the company? Is it to find out about the position? So the person that asked that, it would be great if You let me know exactly why you are emailing the HR of the company.
The next one, I have a co-op offer from a company, but the company wants me to start as soon as possible. Can I start after getting the work authorization from school, and how long can I do a CPT for? Thank you. So CPT is authorized on a semester by semester basis. So say you are looking to do this for the summer, you can register now with your faculty CPT advisor, can apply for CPT, but you won't be eligible to start at least until after the spring semester ends. So we need to be in the summer term for you to start. And then again, if you wanted to continue it and were eligible to do so in the fall semester, it would be a new CPT application for the fall semester, another 1 credit or more registration, the whole process all over again, because it's not typically meant for like a long-term position. If you go through the career and co-op office, though, it could be a 6-month co-op. So I guess I would need a little bit more detail about the circumstances. So there are different, there's a Master's of Engineering co-op, there's the career and co-op office that has an official co-op as well. So if you're talking about a true co-op position, it could be up to 6 months. Otherwise, CPT is issued on a semester by semester basis. So spring, summer, and fall, as long as it's not your last semester and you meet the eligibility requirements. I hope that helps to answer your question. If you have any other questions like that, if you're going to be eligible, we're happy to take your call during advising hours, Tuesday through Thursday from 2 to 4. Okay, so if any of you are having trouble, there's the Q&A feature at the bottom. Feel free to type in your questions. We're going to be here until 4 p.m. So we'll be here to answer any of your questions that might pop up. I do want to let everyone know that both offices have drop-in or advising hours. So we're both, just check our websites so that you can get in touch with an advisor in either office and regarding whatever office questions you may have. And then we can always help you that way if you think about a question later on, or if you have any questions today, feel free to type them in the Q&A box. To be a career fair soon?
For the spring, no, we are done. We had 2 career fairs the week of February 24th and 25th. So we are done with our career fairs. The next career fairs would be in the fall. And we don't have a date yet, but we will start promoting that once we have all those ironed at the beginning of the fall semester. But we are done with the spring career fairs.